Welcome to the Assist Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Schwartz, and joining me today is old friend, longtime friend, Kyle Milner. Kyle, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Zach. How are you?
I'm exhausted. We had the alumni game yesterday here at our lovely North Ridgeville High School, where we played the JV and varsity, 2 games. For people counting at home, that's 80 plus 70, 152 minutes of soccer.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Very tired, very out of shape. We'll never be in that shape again.
Luckily, our hamstrings are still intact.
Yes, we no blown muscles, no real injuries either. Yesterday, that was good. Last year, someone got injured, and that was ugly.
I tell you what, if I played 10 more minutes, I might have passed out, though.
It's just so hot on the turf. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's only 80 degrees, but it felt like 95. And we won on aggregate, 8-5.
Technically.
We beat the JV 8-1, and we lost 4-0. So that leads to an absolute win for the varsity. Or for us, I mean.
The alumni.
The alumni. What's new and exciting? Summer's almost over.
My summer was over about 2 weeks ago.
So talk to me about that, because I think it's interesting kind of how you've gone up the ranks there within the soccer department at Bowling Green State University.
So, yeah, I encourage all you listeners out there to reach out to whatever you want to do. If you're interested in drawing, reach out to an artist. If you're interested in coaching soccer, reach out to the coach at your university. Just get involved. That's what I did going into my freshman year. I emailed the coaching staff at BG, and they were happy to bring me on, and I can say that I've learned more in just my 2 years so far at BG than I've learned my entire life playing soccer. So it's just the more you know. It's all about reaching out to new people and getting new ideas. I think that's the best way to learn and grow. That's what I've been doing. I've been back at BG for 2 weeks now for preseason. It's been great.
I think it's that's a good thing good point as you go into college, is because a lot of now high school seems like it's not really you reaching out to different people because everything's kind of there. But when you go to college, it's like, look, you've got to email this professor or this person, like you said, and you just gotta go for it. It's like, because some people will get in their head like, I'm just an 18-year-old with no real experience, unless you worked at like a fast food place, which in your career probably doesn't count for much. All this stuff, but like you said, I mean, these people will take a chance on you because they see you reaching out, and they're like, this kid is ambitious. He wants this. You can tell he's trying to contact me out of nowhere. So what exactly have you been, like, what is your job title? I believe you've changed, correct? You've gone up
Correct.
the ladder a little bit. So walk me through that.
So I'm the director of soccer operations.
That's very important.
With BG Men's Soccer. So I do a lot of behind the scenes. Well, I help facilitate a lot of game days, practices. I'm there every day. I travel everywhere for games. On the side of that, I do marketing and social media. So if you follow us, that's me. If not, if you don't follow us, then what are you doing? Help us get to 3,000 followers. Thank you.
3K. BG Men's Soccer to 3K. What's the at? Drop the at.
BGSU Men's Soccer.
There you go. What is the hardest part of the job? 'Cause it sounds like you're dipping your toes into a lot of different fields there.
Can you repeat the question?
What do you think's the hardest part of doing all that? Because it seems like you're doing a lot of different areas. I understand how they all come together, but what's the
hardest part is just time management.
Okay.
It's a lot of tasks being thrown at you at one time sometimes. Mm-hmm. So on the side, I actually run a developmental soccer league.
Yeah.
So if you played rec soccer, that's it. We just we reach out to the community and get anybody 3 to 14-year-olds just come out and play, and they get training from some of our players, and it's just a good time. It's just a lot of time management with my class schedule and
right. Yeah, regular school.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of regular school, studying to become a teacher.
Correct.
Want to be a coach as well? Is that still in the works?
That is very much in the works. Trying to dip my toes into a new field and find my own team.
Okay.
That's the only way I can get the next license.
Right.
So
you've had offers, haven't you? You don't have to say from who, but I know we've talked before. You've had some interest.
We have a line. There's a line taking interviews. It should be the other way around, but.
So, what kind of teacher?
Currently, right now, I'm studying to be a middle childhood, which is 4th through 9th grade, math and science teacher.
Okay. So when the kids are at they're most malleable, when you can impart all the lessons onto them, become who they want to be.
Correct. A lot of kids, we call it I don't want to say weird, but it's like they're in a weird stage of their life. They don't know.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, what's down, what's left, what's right. They don't. Their morals are bouncing off the walls. So it's I just kind of find it fascinating that I get to be the one to help shape them, because I always say teachers and coaches are the ones who shaped me my entire life, besides my parents who've done the majority.
And your dad was also a coach, so
my dad was also a coach.
Double
so
that.
I just feel the need to want to get involved and nurture the next gen.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like if you were to kind of psych yourself out about it, it'd be like, wow, I'm responsible for all these kids in this room. But I mean, it is really it's a big responsibility, but it's one that, you could talk about teacher pay and all that stuff all day, but it's like at the end of the day, you wake up every day and you're like, this is my objective. This is what I want to do. I really have this purpose to, have as many kids walk through my classroom and leave better people.
And it's a very, in 2019, it's a very discouraging field. There's a lot of factors, like Zach said, the wage difference. I mean, yeah, we don't get paid as much, but I mean, money shouldn't be the reason you want to do something. Mm-hmm. If you want, at the end of the day, I mean, you're not going to be happy. Money doesn't buy happiness. Happiness is only temporary.
It's true.
Anyways, so I mean, do what gives you joy. Joy is everlasting. So, yeah. I've
heard that as well. If you really truly find your passion, you're practicing, and you're doing all that, money will come as well. So I don't necessarily subscribe to the belief that it's just all about acquiring all the money. So I know my mom the other day said, you don't get to take it with you anyway. And I know she's probably spending my dad's money. But no, I'm kidding. Love my mom. Very hardworking lady. But it's very, very honorable of you to do that.
I have a shirt that says, money doesn't buy happiness, but it'll buy me a boat, and that'll make me happy.
Isn't that a song?
It's like it'll buy not me that I've heard. I have no idea.
I don't know. Might not be too popular.
I know what you're talking about.
It's like that one country song, whatever.
Buy me a truck to pull it.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not doing that. Don't need a truck.
No, don't need a truck. Buy what car gives you joy.
Exactly.
Little Mini Coupe.
Little Mini Coupe. Dad said those Mini Coupes are actually really unsafe. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it can't just because they're small, right?
I just wouldn't be able to fit in one. So I wouldn't buy one.
I could never do that. I mean, I could fit in it. I just don't want a Mini Coupe.
Yeah. What
is your dream car? Do you have one?
It used to always be that I love the Dukes of Hazzard movies.
Okay.
So a 1970 Dodge Charger would be fantastic, but I see these Teslas, man.
They're beautiful.
I know it's illegal, but I'd just love to be sleeping one day and arrive at my destination.
Tesla is fascinating. Apparently, they put software updates in all those cars for that stuff, like all the systems and all that every week, and they have to debug it sometimes. It's insane. I mean, that Musk is.
It's a family car. You could have a kid sitting in the. Obviously, there's a weight limit on the front seat, but
yeah,
you could have a kid sitting in your front seat playing a game on the touchscreen, or
yeah.
I saw in some YouTuber's video they turn the fireplace on to set the mood for a date. on in their Tesla.
That's great.
That would be funny.
So I know I talked to JJ about this, just kind of like the engineering side of it, where we'll be at with the autonomous vehicle kind of thing. But just you're going to teach in the morning, whatever, and in your car, it's just you can have it completely run by machines. Do you do that? You joked about that you would love to sleep and get to work. I mean, do you? Some people feel really nervous about autonomous vehicles and all our cars being driven by AI.
Yeah, I watched another video on this the other day. It was a car going on a turn on the highway. They were going to another highway, so it must have been like an exit or something.
Yeah.
And there was a stop. There was traffic coming around the bend. Mm-hmm. And the Tesla can only see so far forward.
Yeah.
It doesn't look to the left or to the right. Mm-hmm. And they had to manually stop the car.
Yeah.
Because it didn't have enough reaction time around the bend to stop itself. And that kind of scares me. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that's only a fraction of your drive, maybe.
Right.
And I'm currently driving a stick shift, and if I was in traffic, I wouldn't want to be there. It's just a lot of stop and go. I personally hate stop and go. So,
yeah, it's hard.
I mean, any kind of... I don't want to say, it's good for us because it's promoting, less work on our part.
Yeah.
Or less responsibility. Mm-hmm. I mean, who do you blame then? When you hit somebody or...
Yeah.
Because you're, trusting this car for your life and prospectively somebody else's as well.
Right.
So, I don't know. That kind of scares me, but...
It's a good question.
I think overall it's a good idea.
I think at the end of the day, if they're safer than human drivers, because humans aren't good at driving, newsflash.
Oh, correct, yeah.
So it's they don't have to be 100%. Nothing is 100% in this world, not even computers, because we're the ones that build the computers. That's the point. So it's if they're safer than humans driving, which I'm sure they will be one day, then I think they need to be implemented. And then the other thing you mentioned, which I think is interesting, and I don't think people talk about enough, is, you're talking about who do you blame and all that stuff, and that's when you're bringing insurance into it, because that's a whole industry that would have issues with it. And I think, insurance is a crazy industry, and it's a reason why the medical costs are so high and stuff. It's not the only one, so I'm not blaming the whole industry, but it is certainly a big reason why the whole medical thing is really messed up at the moment. Medical costs and such. So I haven't thought about that. Honestly, that's the first time I've ever heard someone say that when conversations that I've heard. So I think that's something else that's really interesting that I'm sure would figure out eventually. But there's going to be some capitalist insurance companies that aren't happy about that.
I guess just thinking about it now, it's who the only way I feel they get you is who hit the button to turn it into auto drive or whatever it's called. I don't know.
Right.
But I guess that's where they get you. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you're not. You should still be driving, so you should still be aware. So I guess it's still your fault. But.
Yeah. And the other issue would be, let's say you're driving a Tesla and I'm driving an Audi, and we're both on auto driving, right? So there's that. And what if Tesla's system is better than Audi's? Isn't that a safety concern? You know what I mean? If Tesla's is safe 99% of the time, but Audi's is safe 98% of the time, isn't it financially wrong or ethically wrong for that to happen? Because that doesn't... Do you get what I'm kind of saying? If you have a system that is safer than the others, and everyone knows that doesn't feel right to me. Feels like an issue. My guess is the way to fix that is that there'd be some standard that you have to hit before you can completely do it. But I also think we're a little far away from all this.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's freaking out about AI and robots today. I still think we're decently far away.
A lot of people think we'd be at Futurama at this point.
That's what I'm saying. I know even my dad joked to me one day. He's like, I wrote about AI and automation of car industries for my thesis paper when I graduated college. And my dad's 50 or so now, so it's 30 years ago. So it's like everyone's been worried about this for years. And as you've seen, obviously, a lot of factory jobs are now automated, but we're still churning out new jobs, and a lot of those jobs probably go from hard labor to software. I mean, that's the reality of it. And certainly we just keep on zooming until something really does happen. But I think we will be okay. I think it'll be interesting to see where the next couple generations go when we're watching from heaven. That'll be interesting. Or hell for some of you people.
Yeah. No, I agree. Jobs, that's a big controversy for a lot of people. Like, where are you going to work in the next 10, 20 years? Who knows? We could cut down half our job force, and then what are you supposed to do? But then again, that just means that we build something else up. So
yeah, I mean, we've always been able to evolve our economy and stuff like that with this. So that's what's so interesting, hearing these people. You know, I don't watch the Democrat debates. I know you're not a big political guy either.
I don't
really
talk politics.
It's just
I'm just very ignorant.
I am too. I guess as we get older, it probably isn't as good as a thing as when we were 15. We're like, yeah, we don't care. Now it's like, okay, we're 20. We probably maybe a little.
Those history classes are behind me.
I mean, we have an election next year.
That we do.
Isn't that crazy? I don't pay attention to anything.
No, I should be, and I guess it's my civic duty, but
my civic duty.
At the same time,
I mean,
it's
Trump's tweeting about ASAP Rocky.
Just a lot going on. Yeah, you got presidents tweeting about artists that just got out of the jail. By the way,
yeah, congratulations to ASAP Rocky. Yeah. The other thing, like I said, I don't pay attention to this stuff, but I just love. Okay. The whole, I mean, I by not paying attention, I've heard the most about politics I've ever heard in my life, just because how fully encompassing Trump has been in his presidency. So, for me, you would think the Democrats would come out with a really strong candidate, right? Or collection of candidates. Now, I'm sure some of the candidates they have are great, but it seems like Biden's the leader. They had 3 years to prepare for this, and they select someone that is older than Donald Trump, or they look like they're going to, sorry. The favorite right now is Joe Biden, who is older than Trump. I believe Biden's 76. I looked this up yesterday. I mean, it's over 35, correct?
Right.
Is there something wrong with picking someone under 50? Like, who has the energy to be able to do this, who is not, it's like...
I just think it's kind of like an unwritten thing to say, like, a lot of people are, like, knowledge comes with age.
Yeah.
So I think that's the whole thing. Like, and a lot of people don't think about going into presidency until they're older.
Yeah, that's true. I just, I wonder, so your knowledge thing, I wonder, I mean, people can't see, you can see. I wonder if there's like an inverted U curve, so if you see a U, but it's, I guess it kind of looks like an N. Like, at some point, your knowledge just goes away. I mean, that's called dementia, but...
They have a special hallway for that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to... So the life expectancy in the U.S. in 2016 was 78.69. So Biden's going to be past that. I mean, I feel like that'd be... I joked about it with Trump, because Trump was also pretty old when he entered office. I think he's the oldest sitting president. So it's like, I mean, that Biden VP job, I'd be all over that. That's all I'm saying. If I was what's her name, Kamala Harris or whatever. I know she's
couldn't tell you.
She's in there. If she doesn't get enough votes early, she's got to go all in for Biden's VP, because it's like you probably have a 50-50 shot at being the next president. Man, it's gonna be 80 when he's done.
Yikes.
Anyway, we'll just trust our country to a couple of 75-year-olds. It's fine. We're good.
Scary.
It's a little scary.
I just don't want to get drafted, all right, guys?
Yeah,
that's it for me.
I don't even think you can get drafted. Like, I know you can. Like, that sounds dumb. Like, let me explain. I feel like if we have a war, it's not going to be ground troops. It's just going to be like if you get drafted, it's be like, all right, fly this drone, and it's like it's almost like a game. And it's like, but instead of like Grand Theft Auto, it's like, oh, you just killed 10 people in a shack in the Middle East. Like, great job.
There's just so much that I'm sure they have that we have no idea about. Like the whole Area 51 thing, everybody wanting to go raid that.
Oh, yeah.
Naruto runners and everything.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast had a video the other day. He just went and camped outside Area 51 for 24 hours. And they would get close walking up to it, and just these cameras would just follow them.
Yep.
Everywhere they go, and like lights would come on. And
I was younger. When I was younger, I really believed that aliens were there and stuff like that. But now, I just kind of think it's such, like you're saying, advanced technology that we can't even fathom, like scientists.
Maybe that's where they get it.
So, from the aliens?
UFOs.
It's possible. But I've heard some people that have worked for the government that come on podcasts and stuff like that, and they can't talk about it specifically, but I know one came on Joe Rogan this week, who I love and I listen to, and he's like, do we have technology like in the government that if we're released, people would be like, wow, like, I did not know this is possible? And he's like, yes.
We'll have like pulse guns like in Captain America when they got the
Tesseract.
Yep.
I feel like I wonder because people always ask about the high military budget. I think we probably spend too much on our military. I think that's fair to say. But a lot of our research and like a lot of the stuff we have today comes from the military in the way that once the government sees no use for it, we get it. The public gets it. And then they move on to the next thing. So whatever we have now, the answer always is like, what's the point of defending yourself against the government? They have nukes. Like, I'm sure they have way worse stuff than just that. But whatever we have, they probably have 3 levels advanced from that. And I mean, I guess that's how it should be in a way. But because I mean, could you imagine some of your friends like having crap like that? That's top of the line scientifically. Scare the crap out of me. So, but that kind of, those kind of things exist, and it's terrifying, but also like, I don't think the government has any reason to come after me. I think I'm going to keep it that way.
It's also like kind of scary. Like in the back of your mind, you never know like what idiot's going to be in the government.
Oh yeah,
like the Snowden.
Yeah,
just to leak everything and
right
or.
Well, the government's
use
so
it against
big.
Us. Yeah.
Yeah, the government's so big now. Exactly. Well, that's what I think a lot of people's fear with Trump was. And I think the big thing from Trump is like, it's not necessarily like him doing things, but it's like his statements have allowed other Republicans to do other things. Like you see all these restriction laws about abortion now in the South and stuff like that, and a lot of other things happening. So I think that's probably, it's like almost like not him, but like what he's allowed others to do is bigger. But I could be wrong, because then again, I don't really pay attention to it. And so much for us not talking politics.
We're stopping, we promise.
We're stopping now. Sports season. We're about to get into the fall, which means it's the best sports season because we have college football, NFL, soccer, with the NBA and NHL soon to follow, which is incredible. The soccer season is great because it never really ends. I mean,
never.
It never. I feel like we just ended the Premier League and we just had international tournaments, and now we're back. We're in the middle. It's halftime now, watching the Community Shield between your Manchester City. What's their nickname? The Citizens.
The Citizens.
Is that right?
The Sky Blues
and the Liverpool Reds. Are you optimistic? You're 2-time defending champion now, Manchester City.
I'm not even worried.
Not even worried. So easy run back to the Premier League.
But I do want that Champions League.
You want the Champions League.
We're coming for it.
The Champions League is... I hate it. It's brought me heartbreak the past 3 years.
It's like March Madness. It's getting to that point where it's just like...
Well, especially your fixture against Tottenham last year. That was insane.
It's like anybody can... The whole away goals thing, I feel like you give that lesser team... Well, we'll say it because Tottenham is a lesser team.
The underdog.
The lesser team. Like a better chance to win. Like in March Madness, you get one game and that's it.
Yeah.
And the Champions League, you get two ways to win. You can tie and still win technically, scoring more away goals. But it's almost like the whole special circumstance where Tottenham just got their new stadium. Anybody can win a game with 70,000 plus fans in your new stadium.
Yeah.
1-0, and then go lose in the next game, but still score enough away goals to win.
There's been a growing voice of removing the away goals, that home field advantage doesn't count as much anymore in the soccer world. It sounds like you are in favor of removing this away goals.
I just think it should be straight up. Like if you're tied at the end of 2 games, then go to extra time, go to penalty shootout, whatever you have to do. But I mean, just give those players a chance to. I mean, they're out there working for 90-plus minutes. God bless their hamstrings, because I know mine are a little sore today after 2 games. But it's just kind of crazy to give them a technicality. Like, we shouldn't be awarding technicalities, almost like we shouldn't be awarding participation.
Oh, you went there.
Yeah.
Coming after the participation trophy, parents.
Yeah, I mean, you're just promoting like the helicopter parents, I guess. I mean, you're helping them. I mean, children should be there to learn, just as these players should be there to learn from their mistakes. I mean, let them get to that point. Don't give them a reason to be satisfied for winning on a technicality, or just, I mean, participating is one thing, like they're getting out there and they're doing something new, but like
the trophy's a little much. If Kyle Jr.
promote like children getting better.
Yeah. I
guess that's a better way to put it. Like, don't promote them just for being there, because just being there is not enough.
Correct.
You're never gonna learn. You're never gonna grow by just being there. You learn by learning, by failing, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You just get better.
So Kyle Jr., well, if he gets a participation trophy when he's like 7,
I'm going to throw it away.
You're just going to rip it from him.
I mean, it depends. Like, did he earn it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I hope he did if he's 7.
I hope Kyle Jr. earned it. I'm not going to name my kid Kyle Jr., though.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. I always joked about that. That's bad. No, I agree with you, though. It's because even when we would play rec, I remember, we would get like little trophies, but they weren't participation trophies per se. They were just like, hey, your season's over, here's this. You know what I mean? It was never classified as that, and I never thought of it, but like, yay, I got a trophy. Like, it was just like, oh, the season's over, this is a cool little memento that I played. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where that changed, but maybe it was just that I was raised that way too, kind of like you're saying. I think I've had very good upbringing from my parents in that regard, of always trying to push when I was a kid, and especially getting into the high school years. But I agree with you. It's because you hit on the head with your statement. It's like showing up is not enough, and that goes for anything. It's whether you go to class in college, you can show up and you think you're getting anything, and honestly, you can just waste your time just sitting there for an hour, not even listening to the professor or whatever. Or you show up, at some event or something like that, supporting a cause. It's like you think you show up and you have a glass of water and that's enough. No, it's not. You show up to practice and you go through the motions. It's not. So, I mean, I think that's a really great thing that goes for any walk of life and any age as well. Good job.
Thanks.
I like that. You're already ready to be a teacher.
I really recovered there. Like, I feel like I started off not so strong with the whole helicopter parent statement, but I mean, like, it's one thing to be there for your kids and help them learn, but it's another thing to be there too much.
Yeah, I mean, when like parents are on the field or parents are yelling at the coach. At that point, the kids are just being there. They're not. Yeah, because they're so worried about what happens. No. Sorry, Raheem Sterling just at the post. Oh my goodness. Oh, is that a female side ref? Good for the game. They just announced that there's going to be another, or there's going to be a lead official. That's great. From this year. Good for that. Yeah. That's great. Anyway, yeah, like I hear a lot of coaches now complain as well that the side coaching from the parents, or like when I heard the whole regardless of LeVar Ball, what he says now, just the way he went through and talked about how he raised Lonzo, LaMelo, and LiAngelo, that felt weird to me. It felt wrong almost in a way. I think there's a very fine line from pushing your kid to do whatever the kid loves, and saying, okay, this is if you want this objective, if you want this goal, you want to be an NBA player, dude, and I have no doubt the kids don't want that, do this. But the way LeVar was talking, it was almost like it was his dream that he pushed the kids to do from a young age. And I think that's a fine line, but it's a line that is necessary.
It's almost like, and it's not just parents, it's our society nowadays. The decisions we're making kids make so early on in their lives. Like you're making an 18-year-old decide whether to go to college, whether to go in the military, whether to do a trade. Mm-hmm. It's not just parents. It's our whole society is pushing these kids to make rash decisions. Yeah, which could have put them in a harm's way or debt or whatever. And yeah, I just don't agree with it. It's
ration thousands and thousands of dollars.
Like I said before, do what gives you joy. Don't do what makes other people happy or what's easy.
Yeah, I think you and I are lucky in the sense that, about our senior year of high school, I know you were in the high school's program, the teaching program, and I was working on starting to look at medical stuff. So I think we were both lucky that we kind of knew beforehand, but a lot of people don't. A lot of kids don't, because you're 18 years old. You're trying to pick, quote unquote, the rest of your life when you've lived, a fourth of your life? Mm-hmm. Does that math add up? Yeah, roughly a fourth, a fifth. Like that's hard. And you're an 18-year-old kid. You've lived at home your whole life. Excuse me, under support of your parents. You may have traveled a little bit. Probably didn't appreciate it. I think we had a ton of fun when we went to Spain and France.
It just gives you a whole different perspective on life, how different people live, and it just helps you develop yourself as a person.
Yeah. So traveling's big, but I think I appreciate that trip now than I did when we got back.
For sure.
I was just we had a hell of fun. We had a hell of a lot of fun. But now it's this is really different. And I think
eye-opening, yeah.
I think for me I know you said you travel all over the place for soccer, so I know you're doing work then, but I'm sure you see some of it, different states and stuff. I know you've gone to Penn and Notre Dame and that kind of thing, which are these big, places
prestigious universities.
Yeah. So I know being in Orlando, it's had my eyes open for sure. And it's just it's confirmed for me what I want to do. But kids go away sometimes and they think they want to do this, and all of a sudden they, they change, and that's great. That's development. But now you got $20,000 of debt after 1 year, and you're like, what am I gonna do? It's astronomical. The cost is, and it's stressful.
Yeah, if you're on the fence about going to school or anything, give it a shot, but don't go to some big school that's going to cost you $20,000 or something. Go to a community college, see what they have, learn about the field that you're looking at, and then decide whether it's for you or not. Because at that point, it's just a couple $1,000s.
Yeah, we have multiple friends that have done that, and there's a lot of community colleges that'll do the free community college if you hit a certain GPA, and we've had a lot of friends that have done that, and they, I know one. Thorne talked about it. He wants to. It's ready for him to go. I know Luke is, I think, staying behind to do co-ops and stuff like that, which is great. You're able to learn more, whatever. And if you feel like you just want to save money, or you're not ready to go somewhere big and live on your own, that's a great option that I think is slightly stigmatized when it shouldn't be.
If that's not for you, then just part
your
ways with it and go try something else. It's all about trial and error.
Exactly. So I agree with you 100%. People will be 30 and still won't know what they're in love with. So it's especially where this is where I think a little bit of the toxicity of all the social media comes into, where it's just because you feel all this pressure just from looking at people's Instagrams and all this stuff, because by the time you graduate high school, you'll know hundreds of people just by the nature of being in a high school and doing things like that. And once you get a couple years out, you're seeing all these people. Like I know we know people that are engaged. We don't have to name names, but we know multiple. I know multiple people that are engaged. I know JJ talked about his marriage plans on the last episode of this, and it's like, and then you see people doing houses, getting jobs, finishing college because they came in with something. It's like there's so much pressure to do all this different stuff, but it's pressure just from society. That's a very weird kind of thing. I mean, I'm only on social media now for the podcast and promo for this. I was off Twitter and Instagram for months because I was spending 2 hours a day on it.
Yeah.
I was spending so much time on it. So it's all this trying just to inflate yourself. Look at how great I am.
The saying, you can't love someone else until you're able to love yourself really applies to, it applies to a lot of your life in general. You can't love what you're doing until I guess you know what you want to do.
Yeah. Certainly.
So don't.
Until you find that fulfillment in yourself.
Correct. Just don't waste your time. It's your time, your life. Make the most of it.
For sure. That's deep. It's really
Thanks.
deep.
It's the stuff you got on the Assist podcast.
True life advice. How do you feel about the Browns? What's your expectation? I hear I've heard 12 wins, which I think is ambitious.
I've been a Browns fan since I was born.
Okay. Fresh out of the womb.
Casual at times, but yeah, I'm still here.
Stuff.
I've learned to not get too high of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think we will do better than last year? Of course.
Last year was 7 wins and a tie, right? So 7.5.
And there were some games where we just blew it at the end. That typical Browns fashion. We still have the same kicker. Kickers worry me with the Browns.
Was it Greg Joseph or something like that? Is that the name, or is that the one you guys cut?
I think he's still with us.
All right.
Like I said, casual at times. Don't know who our kicker is.
Okay.
Which is a problem. I should know who our kicker is because he should be good. But, we switched. We have 2 for the last 2 every year for the past 3 years or so.
Yeah.
Speaking of kickers, Phil Dawson just retired with the Browns.
Oh, he signed a 1-day contract and retired?
Yep, that was
good for
nice.
him.
Best kicker in the Browns history.
Good for Phil.
Yeah, I miss him. He can come kick some field goals this year for sure. But yeah, I've learned to not get too high expectations.
What a save. Did that go in?
I think it went in. Oh boy.
Do they have VAR?
I have no idea.
Liverpool just hit the post, or the crossbar went straight down.
Bar down, clearance off the line.
That's beautiful.
Are we going to VAR?
Klopp's
Are we going to VAR?
Doesn't look like it. I thought they have the instant thing, so it tells you if it crosses.
Oh, that's true. That is very true. I think they're waiting for a stoppage of play though.
They'll show the the TV show. Here we go. Show us how close was it? Wow, that's crazy. Oh, it's Van Dyke. Why is he a Virgil on his shirt instead of Van Dyke? Doesn't make sense to me.
He's Dutch. He's weird.
Oh yeah, it wasn't in.
I hate that we always have to win these games by margins. Every time we play Liverpool, I feel like there's a clearance or something off the line.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It wasn't even a clearance. It was just the spin of the ball.
John Stones last year
looked like it was
cleared millimeters of the ball off the line. Literally millimeters away from going in. It was nuts.
That's insane. Okay, so Browns kicking.
Yeah,
that's rough.
I basically touched on all Browns kicking. That's what makes me nervous. That's what's going to win us games. It's not defense. It's not our quarterback. It's going to be that Browns kicker. Just ask the Chicago Bears.
We just hit the post again. Salah just hit the post. That's so funny. Literally 2 minutes. I mean, we're watching this in live time, people. So
yeah, this is
if you don't care about the soccer, I'm sorry, but that's great. If that were Barcelona, I would be having an aneurysm right now.
Yeah, let Zach know if you want him to do some more live commentary.
It can be fun.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's the ball. Oh, it's like half the ball.
Half the ball, yeah.
Half the ball from being
not even. See it Klopp.
Okay, anyway, so you guys actually have a real quarterback, though. Baker Mayfield.
He's a ledge. Yesterday he was at the Indians game.
Yeah, he chugged a beer, didn't he?
Chugged a beer and then pointed to the Lindor on the back of his shirt. If that's not one team, one city, I don't know what is.
I do have to say, the Cleveland bond among all the teams is very strong. Something you don't see in a lot of cities.
No. Cleveland is... The land is something special.
I won't go that far.
Yeah, it's something special.
The unity is really cool. From living here for so many years, but I like to root for Cleveland teams. We're not really rivals in anything.
No.
Detroit and Cleveland, the Indians and Tigers are in the same division, but honestly, it's not really. It's hard to hate other people in baseball. It's like, especially when 2016, when the Cavs won the title, it was really cool to see the whole city like that. And if the Browns, now that they're good, the city just has a bubbling excitement. So I just...
There always has to be one team that's really bad, though. The Cavs have taken over that responsibility.
Oh, they're the worst team in the league, I think. They're not the worst situation in the league, but the worst team. I would rather be the Cavs than the Hornets.
How do you feel your boy Jim Boeheim's going to do?
I can't believe that. That shocked me. I want to know how much he's paying him.
He's essentially coaching a college team again.
Yeah, I think that my aunt lives in Ann Arbor. I think the whole city was pretty shocked by that, by him leaving U of M. I think he'll be good. He's a really offensive coach. So that should be helpful.
Likes his shooters.
So Sexton doesn't play defense.
The best player on the Cavs has never played defense. We had LeBron for so long. He played defense for the first 4 years of his career. He told us he wanted to be the defensive player of the year. Never happened, let me tell you.
Man, that did not happen.
Anyone who's heard me on this podcast before knows that I'm not a big LeBron fan.
You're Team MJ.
I'm Team Larry Bird.
Team Larry Bird. So do you actually think Larry Bird's the greatest of all time, or is you just...
I think I'm reaching a little bit.
Okay.
But it's
He's
nice.
definitely top 5,
It's nice to have hope. You don't get that kind of hustle from a lot of people.
He's the best white player.
We don't need to talk race on here.
No, it's not even a thing. It's just like a...
I just think he's top 3.
That should be a goal. Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Did he just dribble into the goalie? He scored one already, so you can't get mad at him, but, he just dribbled straight into the goalie. That's like what we would do yesterday. Someone's dead. Someone just got shot on the field.
But, yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm kidding, people. No one got shot. Yeah, What was I even saying?
I said something about race.
Oh, the Larry Bird's the best white player, easily.
Yeah. Easily.
I think the top 5.
I don't know. Jimmer Fredette's pretty good.
So it's a fun fact. I've gotten Sports Illustrated now. It's been 8 years since I've been receiving issues. The first issue I have is Jimmer Fredette at BYU. The first 2, he has 2 Sports Illustrated covers.
Look at him now. I think he's with the Suns still.
I thought he went back to China. He was in an article recently in Sports Illustrated about the Chinese.
He signed a contract with the Suns.
Oh.
Pretty sure.
The Suns are a dumpster fire too, so that's good.
I don't know. They're on the up. I'm a Cavs fan, but I really push for those underdog teams.
But the Suns have a terrible owner. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You can have all the talent. Look at the Knicks. You're in New York, in what people call the Mecca of basketball. Mm-hmm. And you have a crap owner who's an asshole.
And you didn't want to sign Durant because you were nervous about his injury.
Especially for the Knicks, I get the Achilles injury thing. I get that. It kind of makes sense in a way, but also, the Knicks haven't had a good player. Or haven't had a marquee player since Carmelo Anthony. And we know how that went. That turned out not disastrously, but it didn't turn out great. You've whiffed on LeBron twice now. You missed on everybody. Kawhi, Kyrie. We all thought Durant was
a shoo-in
there forever, yeah. And something changed. Who knows? And also the fact that it was Brooklyn. That's sad.
Jay-Z is pulling some strings.
It seems like it.
He just became a billionaire, correct?
Did he? I know Dr. Dre's a billionaire. He might be. Is Jay-Z still a part owner of the Nets?
Oh, yeah.
Is he? Okay.
He was there when they
moved?
When they signed.
Oh, okay. I feel like that's the other thing with all these NBA players is like there's always been that's one of the weird things I've had to explain to some people that don't get sports. It's like there's always been a weird kind of interlude with basketball and rappers. Like you see Drake and like it seems like a lot of basketball players want to be rappers, like Dame Lillard, Dame Dollar.
And I watched a documentary on Allen Iverson the other day.
Yeah,
and it's like
he's a good case too.
The NBA had a whole dress code and everything at one point, and they still might. I don't know, but
I think pregame they do.
He changed it and like rap, hip hop influenced the NBA so much, just style and everything, the way people dressed, and like Allen Iverson was a big advocate for it. He would push the boundaries of the NBA and just. LeBron, if you follow him on Instagram, that's all he's listening to something in his car, or he's talking about Taco Tuesday. Let's talk about that for a second. How do you feel about LeBron's Taco Tuesday?
So what happened?
I think you can guess where I'm going to go with this, but
okay. Did he have tacos and wine? Is that what it is?
No, every
Tuesday. He loves his wine.
Every Tuesday he'll get on there and he'll go, "What day is it? What day is it? Taco Tuesday." He'll go like that. And then he'll pan to one of his kids who will say, Taco Tuesday. And they'll just, sorry for the voice crack, but they'll all pan around. And then his wife's like, what are you doing? And I think I'm with his wife on this one. There's another voice crack.
What is he eating in his tacos? Like, why?
I don't know.
For Taco Tuesday because we just get stuffed with them.
Anthony Davis was on Jimmy Kimmel the other day.
Okay.
And he said LeBron's chef makes him a special taco.
A special taco.
For his diet.
What do you think is in LeBron's taco?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you think...
I think MJ's secret stuff is in his taco. That's one thing I know for sure.
It's probably not beef or chicken. That's too like... No. That's too peasant-y.
I feel like LeBron's LeBron's secretly like a weird like eater. I feel like he's eating like...
Lamb? What if it's a duck taco?
You ever been to a Pan-Asian place?
No.
Well, I feel like he'd get like a Pan-Asian taco.
Well, what's in a Pan-Asian taco? Like
it's
octopus?
I don't know what it is. It's good. Racist. It's good. I'll give him that. It's good.
Okay. When have you been to a Pan-Asian place?
We have a place called... there's a place in Perrysburg that I go to.
Panda Express.
No, that's definitely not Pan-Asian. That's...
Fast food Asian.
That's good food. But yeah, I feel like he gets some special stuff in there. It'd be kind of weird for the common person, but for LeBron, it's great. Yeah,
it's like it'd probably make my digestive system angry because it'd be too rich for me.
Is LeBron on the way down?
Well, he's 35, 34, right?
Yeah.
Just got injured for the first major time in his career, which is unbelievable, by the way. We do have to say. I mean, I think Kareem is the only one that's been able to do that. Play at that high of a level. I think my answer would be he's still going to be very good. I don't think he's the best player anymore. I don't think he will be the best player. However, if you still are facing LeBron in the playoffs, I think you're a little terrified.
LeBron is...
Regular season...
LeBron is the best playoff team.
Yeah. Yeah, he just can...
Essentially because he is the team.
Yeah. Here's what I don't get,
in the playoffs.
How do you... So their best players, right, the Lakers, are... I haven't sat down and really looked at this. I mean, I did.
Last time I looked at the players roster, or the Lakers roster, they had 5 players.
I made my my predictions. I think the Bucks win the finals this year. Regardless of that, though.
I saw that 2K did a simulation on their new 2K20 game.
Yeah,
and it had the Clippers winning. So Kawhi going back to back.
I had the Clippers in the finals. I just think Giannis probably pushes it a little bit more. It's interesting.
I'll be glad to not see the Warriors anywhere near the finals this year.
Yeah. I think they still make the playoffs, though.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Lakers, anyway, real quick. Their best players, 4 of their best players, are LeBron, Anthony Davis, Boogie Cousins, and Kyle Kuzma. And I know what you're thinking. All those guys play the 4 or the 5. So how does that work?
Well, LeBron is playing the 1 this year. They've already said.
I mean,
he's going Magic Johnson on a Magic Johnson-less Lakers organization.
That was good. I like that. He's a decent 3-point shooter, actually, LeBron is. But, like, Anthony
when
Davis,
he wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, like, so you
Sometimes LeBron just shoots him for fun.
right. So you play him at the 1, that's fine. Anthony Davis says he doesn't want to play the 5. So what, you're going to play Anthony Davis and Boogie together, and can Kuzma play the 3?
I don't think Anthony Davis, or not Anthony Davis.
And you have Danny Green at the 2. That's good. At least they have some shooting.
I don't think Boogie Cousins plays as much.
So you think he comes off the bench and, like, runs the second team?
I just think, like, at this point in his career, he's a little too... Like, you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get an injury-prone Boogie Cousins, or you're going to get, like an average Boogie Cousins last year in the finals performance.
The offseason should be good for him because he looked exhausted in the finals at some points.
I mean, that's the way you're going to get with an Achilles injury that he got.
Oh, yeah. That's what worries me about Durant.
I think he'll be fine. With the technology and, like, rehabilitation we have these days, I don't think it'll be a problem. Mm-hmm. He may just slow down a little bit, but...
Because he at the peak, he just scores from
as long as he has that 7-foot wingspan, I don't think there'll be a problem shooting over anybody.
Yeah, that's true. He's insane.
Kobe said he's probably the hardest person he's ever guarded.
Well, yeah, because he's 7 feet tall. He doesn't like telling people that, but he is. Everyone knows that. And he can just pick his spot. He's got above average handling. He's a shooter from anywhere. It's like he's probably... This is not saying that he's the best player ever. He's probably... I don't know. He's got 2 finals MVPs now. He's probably, top 20 maybe all time? I don't know. It's hard. Mm-hmm. But he's probably the best pure scorer ever. Because a lot of the 3-point shooters, Steph's the best shooter. But Steph is short. He's not great at mid-range.
Ray Allen may disagree, but it's all right.
But, like, Ray Allen, like, he couldn't pull, like, anytime you
no,
put
he
the
couldn't
ball,
pull it from anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. You put the ball in Kevin Durant's hands, and, like, you have to worry about him everywhere. You can't not leave him open. Yeah, you can get in the whole argument, like, well, Ray Allen's more efficient because he shot more threes.
Yeah.
If you want that, fine. But, like, in terms of, like,
good old Jesus,
you're playing, like, 2-on-2 in 2K, right? You're playing blacktop 2K. Like, you want Kevin Durant because you just dribble anywhere with him, and as soon as there's an inch of space, bam. Or not even. He can be fully guarded. There's a player that's 3 inches shorter than him, bam.
I'll tell you who I want on my team. Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. I wonder what Larry Bird... Because he broke down, didn't he, after injuries? He broke down pretty
problems.
Soon. Yeah. I wonder what...
Too much time on the farm.
It's one of the... It's one of the big, like, what-ifs. It's, like, everyone from the 80s. Like, I think the 80s is my favorite NBA time.
Oh, of course.
But, like, everybody was still, like, smoking cigarettes, drinking on weekends, all that stuff. I wonder what everyone... Like, LeBron. LeBron does all these... He spends millions of dollars on his body. I wonder what... Like, if Larry Bird was able to do that, I mean, what does Larry Bird look like? I get that's a rabbit hole that you can dive down for, like, almost anything. Like, you go for hours talking about that. But, be like, well, if Magic Johnson didn't have AIDS. Well, he does. So, there we are. No. Larry, it's funny because I wasn't alive, but, like, watching all the stuff about the Bad Boy Pistons and how much they hated Larry Bird. Just because that's when true rivalries were in the NBA.
I feel like that's what our, like, society nowadays needs. Is, like, that's what you're paying attention to instead of, like, everybody else. Like, you're wanting to get out and go see these kind of things. Mm-hmm. Instead, you're staying inside watching it.
Well, I think part of it now is that the TV experience is so good. A lot of people don't want to go out to see games. I think college football is like that now. Apparently, I didn't realize this, but apparently attendance has been going down for college football games.
I even think, like, TV cable is phasing out as well. Like,
the streaming stuff
streaming is going off the rails. I mean, people don't even watch TV anymore. I don't. I watch YouTube or I watch Netflix.
The only
Hulu.
The only thing I watch on TV is Arrow. Like, that's still on TV, and that's just because I caught up on streaming. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you. I'm like, even Amazon Prime just released a nice, like, it's
like you're literally wasting your money if you have cable.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we are switching over. We're getting rid of DirecTV. We're going to Sling. Do you have Amazon Prime?
Correct, I do.
So have you seen the soccer series they just released on Amazon Prime TV? Mm-hmm. It's like a 6-part series. It's just like This Is Football, and it's pretty cool because it goes through, like, Africa, all this stuff. It's like one of those things. It's like a Netflix series where it's like an hour each episode. Like 6 of them. So I think I'm gonna watch that at some point because I have a Fire Stick now. So I think I'm going down to school a little early. I think I'm going to just binge it. I still want to finish Smallville, so that's my problem. I'm on season 8.
You need to get going with that.
It's hard.
I finished that when school was still in session in the spring.
You passed me, and then I was like, "Oh, there you go." Yeah, I'm working on it. It's just long.
It's kind of dragged on though. Like at some point, like they could have easily
just fast forwarded.
I
feel like that was like seasons 3 and 4. Or whatever. I don't know. Oh, well, it was weird that they started him as a freshman.
I mean, I'm not really giving anything away, but he doesn't get his powers till last season.
Yeah,
he had full potential.
I'm at season 8. He's still not flying. It's been 8 years.
Yeah,
it's like, what is this?
It's been 8 years. Superman can't fly.
He just started working at the Daily Planet. Anyway, yeah, it's long. Yeah, I agree with you though. I love Netflix. I love Hulu. I mean, there's the amount of comedy stuff on Netflix is insane. I love it. That's what Katie and I do a lot of times. We'll sit down and watch a couple specials, and it's a fun time. We get a lot of laughs.
Kevin Hart just came out with a new one.
Did he?
There's a lot.
My favorite's Rogan. Russell Peters, we just watched him. He's pretty good. It's this Indian guy. Joe Coy, Filipino guy. That's Katie's favorite. No, there's a lot. Like Bert Kreischer. Have you heard of him?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's really good too. I know. That's kind of what you're saying. The difference for me is when I watch these people online, like on these Netflix things, it's like I want to go see them in person now. I'm still like that. Like I want to go see it. Like I know Bert's going to Tampa, which is pretty close. Or to Jacksonville, which is pretty close to us. So we might go see him.
The only thing that stinks is I was going to go see Gabriel Iglesias last year, and he was at a casino, and I can't get into the casino because I'm not 21.
I remember that. Is that different now? Is it still 21 now because of all the... Well, probably.
They're making everything 21 nowadays. Yeah. I mean, Ohio just passed where you can't do any form of nicotine or e-cigarettes until you're 21.
I would argue that's a good thing.
I think all being the same age is fine. But I'm also like, if we had it to where it was 18 or 19, then maybe the younger kids wouldn't want to get into it as much. But I mean, you're always going to have that because there's always going to be those kids who want to, like the I talked about earlier, the like weird aged kids. They're always want to try something new. That's what you're going to get no matter what. So it's whatever. I don't get the whole San Francisco just banning e-cigarettes. That doesn't make any sense because there's still a big market for everything else. So
are e-cigarettes like Juuls, or are those different?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Again, I'm not the most knowledgeable, but...
No, I don't practice any of that. I don't do any of that stuff. It's not my cup of tea. And I think it's pretty bad for you. That's my bad.
Yes, the whole purpose of it was to provide a better product... a better alternative.
Yeah, and
they haven't.
Yeah, I feel like the other issue is when you're breathing stuff in like that, like chemicals, like that all stuff. It's gonna be linked to a bunch of cancers. Easy, I can tell you that right now.
Oh, for sure.
That's just how it works. It's like if you introduce, generally with a lot of different things, if you introduce a lot of foreign like gases and stuff like that into your body, it ends up being cancer. Oh, there you go. 1-1.
I didn't think he was on the field.
You didn't think Matt Tip was on the field?
No, I thought they were playing Joe Gomez.
Oh.
Do they get unlimited? Yeah, see, he is.
Yeah, there's unlimited subs.
Okay, that makes sense.
What even was that? What even kind of play was that?
They played it across, and then Virgil van Dijk just put it back into the mixer.
I see. That's crazy.
And Claudio Bravo is just
FIFA
short.
Goal. That's center back to center back right there. Liverpool has 3 stud attackers, and they scored a goal from center back to center back. Ouch, 1-1. Does this trophy even mean anything?
I mean, we won it last year. We conquered England with this trophy, so...
Oh.
I think we included that in our fourth, the Formidables.
Oh. Well, the Barcelona year, they won 6. I mean, I know they took out the Super Cup.
Yeah.
Well, supported by McDonald's.
That's whatever. Let's go to PKs. Have an interesting one. Oh boy, I hate when the aux comes on.
Oxlade Chamber.
The man changes the game.
It's weird that we haven't found a better solution to end of games than penalty kicks.
I'm all for the MLS penalties.
Is that when it's like a
Dribble
hockey
from the halfway line?
It's like a hockey shootout.
Yeah. That's just entertaining for everybody involved.
It's a little bit more skill too on both ends. Like you have to cut the angle for a goalkeeper. Like the goalie, in reality, I mean, a lot of it's psychological because the goalie, in this sense, shouldn't have a real shot to save the ball.
No.
And you know that. You were a goalie growing up. Still are. Whenever we play. So, like, I can imagine that. But if, like, you're now having what you're saying, like, where they start and they're dribbling at you and you're allowed to move off your line, like, that's probably takes in more skill for you, but also probably puts a little more pressure on you because you are expected at least, like, your chance to save it goes up a little bit, right?
You're expected to at least lower their chances.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. We can wrap up with...
I mean, there's tradition in this game, and like a lot of the other games, like football and baseball, even basketball, like tradition has changed a little bit. But I feel like this one's stayed pretty constant.
And especially the football kind of rules. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, they're getting so much flack for concussions and stuff. Baseball's got to figure something out. We can wrap up with this. Indians making a charge late. Just got Yasiel Puig. I don't pay attention to baseball, so don't expect me to know all the stuff. How did you feel about the Bauer thing, though? He chucked the ball down.
I think Bauer was a Cleveland guy.
Yeah.
He brought a lot of heart, and like the whole video he posted afterwards, he went to the game the next day after being traded to the Reds.
That's
just crazy. As a fan.
That's awesome. I feel like Cleveland...
he came to our farm system. I think he was Cleveland through and through. So, I mean, I can't be upset. But at the same time, he was a distraction at times. He was in his own head. So, it was kind of his time to go. And the fact that we got 2 30 home run hitters.
Yeah.
So, we have a 60 home run outfield.
Right.
Is crazy. That's exactly what we needed.
Yeah.
Because we have the pitching depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Kluber and
although Salazar just came up the other day and then got put on the 10-day injured list right after the game. Mm-hmm. Pulled his groin.
Jeez.
After waiting so long to come back. But Kluber's coming back. It should be all right. We should make the playoffs. It'll be interesting what goes on there. The Yankees will, with all their spending.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're insane.
Easily make their way through the playoffs. Probably win a World Series. Who knows?
I hope not.
You never know. Hopefully the Astros beat them.
The Dodgers. Dodgers have always been really good and just haven't been able to pull through. Mm-hmm. I feel like Cleveland's like Detroit in that way where it's like if there's a guy like that that's controversial to everybody else, that they'll love them like unequivocally. Like
I mean Baker Mayfield's becoming that way. Just like
I love Baker.
The way that he uses media to, I mean, he's just having fun.
Yeah.
He's just being him, and I feel like that's like we talked about before the 80s. I feel like they were just having fun. They were just playing basketball, and the media came and talked to them. Like Charles Barkley's a big one. He'll just say whatever on his mind, whether it's good or bad. The Suns need him right now.
Gotta love Charles. That's like the media causing a lot of narratives. Like Clyde, I remember when...
it's not always true. You never know who to trust anymore. I feel like it starts there.
Yeah, well, they had the thing, and I think it was maybe 93, 94. No, it couldn't have been 94. It was either 93 or 96. Clyde Drexler, they was getting hype as being better than... I mean, he was 90...
Better than MJ?
Better than MJ, and MJ just...
MJ
murdered him.
Next game.
Honestly, murdered him in the finals. Like... As much basketball murder as you can get, that's what happened.
Oh, it's Nabi Keita.
It's number 8? I thought you were asking for number 6.
I feel like looking from here. I think my eyes are going, by the way. But
you're
that
20.
8 easily could have been a 6.
Get some glasses.
I don't know. Maybe. we'll get there.
Need some glasses. Goodness.
But yeah, Indians are on the up. And we have the fan base to back it up, so that'll be interesting to see what they do. The All-Star game was great.
Did you go? Did you go to anything?
But I did not, just because I was going back to school at the time.
Oh, that's right.
but like all the reviews from the players to the fans, it was just a good time. New home run records in the home run derby.
Yeah.
Vlad Guerrero, I wish he would have won, but he didn't.
I know that's been a big thing for him.
That's crazy to see the whole father-son thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Second gen. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on the Indians, though.
So,
I'm more of an Indians playoff fan. October?
So don't look at me. That sounds right to me.
I mean,
so is it end of September or beginning of October? Because the playoffs are pretty quick.
Isn't that what they called A-Rod or Jeter, Mr. October?
I thought it was Reggie Jackson.
It was a Yankee. They bought the league. They're still buying the league.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right, well, we'll definitely...
Maybe it was Mickey Mantle. Who knows?
Yogi Berra. We'll definitely have to talk as the seasons start getting underway. We can check in with Browns and Indians, and I mean, we don't have to talk about the Cavs, but figure it out. This was fun. This was a fun hour.
This was a fun hour.
It. We'll have to do it again soon, as we are away at school suffering.
Download the assist.
Thank you for that ringing endorsement. Kyle, take care. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Assist Podcast. If you like the show, go drop a 5-star rating. That really helps us keep the show going. If you want to stay updated with all of the podcast episodes, hit the subscribe button, and also go follow our Twitter, which is @assist_podcast, and our Instagram, which is now The Assist Podcast. And you can write any emails, any suggestions you have to theassistpod@yahoo.com, and we'll see you next week.